like like fascism has diversified is my point. It's not like
it's representatives.
It's not just and even people who like agree with this shit, especially online. Maybe because like online no one knows what the color of your skin is. So maybe that's the reason why a lot of people feel safe in these communities, even though they're like black or brown.
Oh, on their like on their burners or whatever. Or yeah, just
not even on their burners, just like whatever account they use that they just like don't post photos on.
Yeah.
Like I'm willing to bet that there are I'm willing to bet that there are more black and brown people in like existing fascist movements right now than ever before, than at any other point in time. 100%. Like there was a black white supremacist school shooter, man. Like that's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's crazy. That's unheard of. Okay.
Somebody said the Jubilee video. Yeah, there was like a few people of color that were being racist to Mehdi Hassan. Was that right? I didn't watch it. I can't do those. I just can't. I just saw some clips.
Bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here.
Man.
Trump Gaza shining bright. Golden future, a brand new life. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, #1. Trump Gaza shining bright. Golden future, a brand new life. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, #1.
This is, unsurprisingly, the wet dream of the far right. Unoriginal, appropriative, and hostile. AI is the pinnacle of all of it, not a shred of originality or creativity. So, of course, fascists love using it. What a lot of people notice especially, politicized AI slop is almost exclusively used by right-wing actors.
Oh yeah.
But why? Writer Gareth Watkins argues that generative AI models primarily attacks copywriters, graphic designers, or artists, jobs associated with young, educated, urban, and often left-leaning workers. Imagine the White House hiring an artist to giblify on a crying immigrant getting handcuffed by ICE agents. Ridiculousness aside, why should they waste any state resources when they can do this for free? There isn't just an utter contempt for art in general, but also for people and labor, creating depthless imagery that yields only the reading that its creator intended. No room for interpretation.
Fascists love AI art because they hate artists. That, but also they love AI art because every single fucking thing that they get mad about, they hallucinate. It's not real.
Yeah.
So there's no real world example that they can point to. So why is there any need for a real world example when you can just make it up? That's it. That's the reason. That is one of the biggest reasons why fascists love doing that shit, because you can't really point to anything in the real world that if your gripes are completely made up.
It's like that Katie Watkins tweet where she draws the target on her forehead.
Katie Hopkins,
Katie Hopkins, yeah.
This is what it feels like to be a white woman right now, a white conservative woman in England right now, and it's like, yeah, it's a perfect analogy because you put that fake target on your head to take this photo. Or the meme of like the little girl with a boot on her neck crying, but it's like, but if you expand on it, it's her. She's like putting it on her neck herself.
Oh, like her arm.
Yeah.
Self-reflection, or any value that typically comes from actual art. Grok, is this true? One of the reasons why I called Nazi art soulless and empty in meaning in my previous video is their absence of soul and thought-provoking avant-garde bravery,
nice.
Like the Italian futurists had. They instead insisted
hear what
on
you
the
said.
same
That's nice.
heroic
That's nice.
romantic.
That's nice when Hitler's paintings came on, dude.
Speaking as an editor, when he cut the Hitler audio in as a response to Grok.
Oh yeah,
that's a good joke.
That's
a nice editing joke. Damn
I see.
Hi H3 Reddit. Hi, wherever this is
you got
going.
God, bitch. You got God.
Conservative optics that were close to
sauce,
classical
bro.
Greek and Roman art. The same realist classicist slop over and over again, reproduced to death.
That's my favorite
Using
emote, I
art
think.
as a politicized weapon to reinforce norms and natural myths into society.
So
But
good.
hey, at least
I went to an exhibit in where was it? Oh, in France, about all of the Jewish art that the Nazis had like basically banned,
Mm.
but then they realized that like they can make money off of it, so they sold it anyway.
Oh yeah.
Even though it was degenerate.
Right. And Hitler's
an
paintings
act-
suck shit, right? That's what they
Oh
say.
yeah. I mean, they were ass. He couldn't make it the art. He couldn't cut it in our school.
Actual skilled artist was involved in the making of those pieces. And as flat and propagandizing the art maybe was, at least it looked good. And Leni Riefenstahl is to this day being taught in film schools. Where are far-right artists now? Today, the same reproduction of politicized art can be made at mass scale, without the use of any artists whatsoever. The right-wing aesthetic project is to flood the zone with bullshit in order to erode the intellectual foundations for resisting political cruelty. AI co-ops art and is perverting it. The ultimate
okay to
weapon
be
of
Scandinavian.
aestheticization. The original
it's not.
artworks the AI models are trained on are being endlessly and
The craziest part about it is that they just ripped Studio Ghibli, and Miyazaki is like a fucking dedicated anti-fascist. Sure, not the nicest guy, but like his entire life's work is like talking about how constant need for consumption and like militarism is ruining the planet. And now these things that they're using, they ripped his style to recreate, and he's a major AI hater too.
Right.
They ripped his fucking style and they recreated these things. And it's literally ruining the planet. Like it's like melting the fucking rainforest
Yeah.
in order to make this idiotic thing. It's just such a, I've never seen something so fucked up
Yeah.
about like so disrespectful to a person's legacy.
Because like yeah, like the idea that Miyazaki would make this frame as a way to show that they're cool and good, which is why they made this image.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
and also the
It's
reason
the
why,
Nazis.
the reason and the ways, in order to create this image, you have to literally use so much energy
Yeah.
and ruin the planet, which is antithetical to his worldview and antithetical to everything he has ever done.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're not thinking that far ahead.
therefore softened, diluted, until the substance of the original piece is completely rinsed out. Historical events, fascist ideologies, even war crimes or genocidal fantasies are being transformed into superficial, aestheticized content. Everything is made beautiful. The obscene is being normalized. Everything becomes Tumblr core slop. And we're still in the very early stages of AI content. The pinnacle will be deepfakes. Once deepfakes become normalized, we'll have reached the final stage of total meaninglessness. Deepfakes are the ultimate tool of oppression.
In a September 2019 survey, researchers at DeepTrace found that of the deepfake videos they could identify online, 96%
Have you ever seen
were pornographic.
Actually no, I'll talk about it after.
It's going to get real ugly. Memes, AI slop, pronouns, like, we've lost our sense of shame.
Pronouns.
Nothing
Oh, pronouns.
is obscene anymore. And if anyone gets offended, just say it was edgy, ironic humor. At least fascists in the past had the f***ing balls to be honest about it.
You're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
Listen to me. I am an immigrant. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Get the hell out.
I don't even like... I should get the hell out.
Yes.
Why? I don't want you here.
Has our reality really become Reddit? Or worse, 4chan? Look at this clown and tell me he's not the embodiment of Reddit. But Musk and Trump are just symptoms of our time, a mirror reflecting how the world works. Narcissistic rich white men grifting their way to the top only to hoard even more wealth and power for themselves. The most powerful country on earth is now basically a content house. Everything is content now, a spectacle, masking politics through optics and emotionalization in order to make it suitable for mass consumption. We truly live in the dumbest timeline
real?
Have
imaginable.
they trained
Yeah.
alligators to actually hunt the inmates? Is Tom Homan riding around in a fan boat as Donald Trump? in the watchtower with a pair of binoculars.
And the worst part, it fucking works. Turning everything into ironic, memeable content has made everything meaningless. The restraints on fascist rhetoric are gone.
It's
The
true.
previously unthinkable is now normalized.
Yeah.
No shame, no
It's
consequences.
like that Sydney Sweeney thing, right?
And no wonder no one takes
dog
you
whistle.
seriously when you call something fascist.
Just dropping it.
Because you're right, it has lost its meaning.
Well, it's partly
Which
because everything is fascist.
Is the point. One key aspect
Sweeney
of
is a
friendly
registered
fascism.
Republican, by the way, was verified. Yeah, I saw that. BuzzFeed found out that Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican in 2024. Yeah.
Is the distraction from class war to culture war. Because we remembered. Fascist victimhood drives away from material conditions to a narrative that's mostly based on emotions, scapegoats, and conspiracies.
It's a
And
great
what better
video.
way to hand out megaphones to the working class to express their frustrations than with the use of social media? This is the perfect megaphone, as expressions can now be monetized, more manipulated and controlled via algorithms, AI bots, or outright censorship by insecure CEOs. We now live in a deeply mutually dependent globalized economy that forces fascism to change its tactics. It can't appear as militant and loud as before, that's too obvious. The rising influence of private companies and therefore unelected officials in politics slowly replaces the interests of the people into the interests of profit. Within the framework of friendly fascism, this culture war is not merely reactionary rhetoric, but a structural tool of governance. By mobilizing cultural anxieties and moral panics, an authority-oriented worldview is normalized, one that increasingly influences media, education, academia, and jurisprudence. This dynamic gives rise to a form of soft authoritarianism. While democratic structures remain intact, they are substantively hollowed out through normative pressure, production of enemy images, and discursive polarization.
That was
To
crazy.
achieve higher profits,
You know, that's
which
the
one?
German state made that video.
Wait, go back. What was the video?
of enemy images,
This.
and discursive polarization. To achieve higher profits, nations are now seen as businesses with privatized military-industrial complexes. In order to maximize profits, the working class needs to be repressed as much as possible to extract the maximal amount of capital out of their labor. Cheap production, higher profits. That means repressing unions, protests, deregulations, privatization, expanding police force, increasing surveillance, integrating the three separations of power, invading countries for resources, so far and so forth. Violence is now primarily executed with a gun, yet, but with paper. Bureaucratic violence. Just look at Project 2025, the US healthcare system, or basically any asylum process or unemployment help. To soften or rather distract from a negative image, corporates use woke virtue signaling to promote their inclusivity and allyship. Corporates knowingly or unknowingly help fascist movements to flourish, as long as it protects their capital. Why else do you think Musk supported only far-right parties in Europe? Fascism, with the help of an oligarchy, now comes in the form of boring, bland corporatism that slowly creeps its way into society. Neoliberalism needs fascism to survive. They go hand in hand, because we can literally see that this system doesn't work anymore. Global crisis, inequality, war and suffering are at the rise because neoliberalism is not a sustainable model. The top 1% of the world's population own more wealth than 95% of humanity. 95.
It's a good system.
Each one of us is losing.
And certainly very different than the, theocratic monarchies of the past,
Mm-hmm.
because God had ordained the leader, the king, to be the king, to hold on to all the power and all the wealth, and then he would hand select his lords, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now we have meritocracy, which means those guys actually deserve it.
They earned it. They
deserve it. They earned
They
it.
grinded hard enough to become God.
Yeah. It's a very different. Now you might say, because you're uninitiated, silly, stupid, socialist, woke, gay,
Woke.
whatever, and go, well, what difference does it make? One had the probability of being born in the right family and become like the hold on to the heavens mandate, and the other was born into the appropriate zip code and had a sequence of events that allowed them to prosper this much and were ruthless enough, and that it's impossible to overcome said probability. And the outcome is still the same in terms of material possession and also control over the entire population. But that seems like socialism, or you start sounding like a woke, and I don't like that. And that's why I shut the fuck up. It's so much better now.
Losing trust in the system, and therefore in democracy. According to the Leipzig authoritarianism study in 2024, only 42% of people in Germany are still satisfied with democracy as it functions. That's a drop of 15% since 2022. And in East Germany, that number plummeted from 53.5% to 29.7%. Meanwhile, racist attitudes in the West jumped from 12.6% to 19.3%. In the East, it's still high at 31.5%. And around 1 in 5 people are now openly showing sympathy for authoritarian alternatives like dictatorship or a strong male leader. Fascists exploit this by tapping into the collective frustration. They amplify the feeling of despair and offer people an outlet for their rage. But actually helping people would destroy the breeding ground for fascism. That hasn't changed since the past. In the 1920s, mass image production became possible for the first time, a powerful propaganda tool for fascists. Today, we see a similar phenomenon: the internet. And don't even get me started again on AI. The aestheticization of politics has proven its power once again, whether in the 1920s or today. We are witnessing in real time the shift into a post-factual world where fairy tales and horror stories with dangerous monsters have become the new reality. Again, step by step, the tracks are being laid to build a society ready for violence. A society eager to restore traditional masculinity, revive national pride, and troll the enemies of the people. But friendly fascism is fading away. It has become more bold, louder, more aggressive. The snake has finally begun to show its face again, and we are doing nothing. We have been completely desensitized. Hitler and Mussolini were connecting themselves to history in order to achieve an immortal legacy that is remembered as glorious and intimidating. Today's fascism comes with a corporate, memeable, ironic wink.
I'm not going to cry a fucking river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided. I don't give a fuck. They're terrible people. It's not even a question. These people are not your allies. They are not the same as us. They come from an inferior culture that is horrible. It kills people for their identity, and it is directly antithetical to everything Western values stand for, and it is an inferior culture in all ways. It is that simple. No, I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel sorry for them. I don't care. I don't support them.
It's interesting because this was a mask off moment for Asmongold, but not in the way that you think it is. He is so primed to Reddit that he thought he could get away with like what he had seen on Reddit, like saying what he had seen on Reddit. And then when the rest of the internet found out about what he was saying to this like massive fucking audience, that they would be chill about it. But of course, he Reddited it a little too close to the fucking sun, and it unironically caused a major issue for him. Not that it matters, because obviously he has since then recovered and has continued doing the exact same thing, but now knows better than to, I guess, get to that level, or at least like say things to that level on other issues.
What did because you talked to him after that, right?
I did.
What did you what was your conclusion from that process of like talking to him and then seeing what happened after that? Like,
well, the process of me talking to him in that situation wasn't necessarily to change his mind. I don't give a shit about changing his mind. It was more so to have his audience hear
right,
the truth and a real perspective. but nothing changed. I thought maybe he could dial it back a little bit because he apologized for it. And it was just totally fucking, I tried, but it was a failure overall. He has since then signaled that I am like the primary enemy of him ideologically, an enemy of his community. I think he spends like he spends a decent amount of time every single day covering like all the drama, I guess, that people try to whip up around me.
And yeah, I mean, like I theorize that the reason people like that don't change is because they're financially incentivized to not change and surrounded by people that.
But he doesn't even
tell them.
He doesn't even care about the money. You do it more than anyone. Yeah, no, totally. I do it more than anyone. You're right. I love this blanket, fucking vague, generalized, like centrist ass statement. When you actually saved his fucking career that day, brother, he's a fucking fascist enough to ease the actual load of what the fuck he's doing. When you actually saved his career that day, yeah, that's what I did. I saved his career. He got banned for 14 days and was roundly criticized by myself and everyone else. No, the reason why Asmongold does this, I know this. I know this better than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why Asmongold does this is because he wants, I mean, he has like real racist opinions, clearly, but he does this because he wants to be loved. He loves the attention and he loves being a beloved figure. Okay? Because like he lives in filth. Like he could be making $100,000 a year and be totally fine. You know what I mean? In the conditions that he exists in. He's not like making crazy purchases or anything like that. He still lives in his fucking own, like he still lives in the same family home that he lived in. He wants validation. He wants yes men. And he realized that if he like identifies as like a center right figure who's constantly winking at the far right ideology, then this way he can get a lot of admiration from this growing momentum online, a momentum built around people who are resentful about the way that they live and don't know exactly who's responsible for it. So they get whipped away by reactionary sentiment and think, no, it's the elites, the feminists, the Democrats, the trans people, the undocumented migrants, and the like. You're being petty, bro. I think a lot of people mistake political commentary for personal drama. You're being a parasocial little bitch. I'm not making, this is not drama. I'm just giving you an accurate assessment of like what motivates someone like Asmongold and also simultaneously talking about a broader thing. Okay.
Well, yeah, the troubling thing is that content creators have the power and they command an audience of people and the consolidation of power that you can, on the simple principle that you want validation, perpetrate fascist ideas to millions of people. Like just like basically, I mean, he's fascist, but like for the reason he does it, like you said, like a big part of it is just like a very personal need to be liked or whatever. And the fact that they have the platform means they can command that.
Straight up from the global south. And I can't even hate on them that much because like, one, they're brown, okay? But also they're making money. You know what I mean? Like they're making real money. That's like you're feeding your family doing that. Okay? They're farming dumbass Westerners to make money, to make real money, like consequential money that would help them.
What's that Zionist account? That's like a wolf, like an AI wolf.
Yeah, the one
it's like
Uttar Pradesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always see Muin Ravani replying to it and being
what
like,
is it?
why are you tweeting this?
Vivid, something vivid.
Vivid princess or something. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, they're attacking us right now.
Yeah, vivid prowess. Yeah.
Vivid prowess.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, pro-Israel and pro-white supremacists. Yeah, most of that shit is like botted. But there's a drift towards fashion being a racially indiscriminate doctrine that promotes hate towards an other rather than just any brown people. No, but it's still very much promotes hate towards any brown people. It's just weirdly enough being championed by people who are not.
I think like with the
who are not white.
Like the anti-Semit, that's her biggest thing probably, right? The anti-Semitism, like at least right now. I mean, along with a lot of other stuff, but she's getting, there's like kind of like what, a coalition of white supremacists and like people like Candace Owens, who is also a white supremacist, it's like, I don't see color, I just hate Jews kind of thing.
Yeah. But then there's also